Welcome back. June is Alzheimer's and Brain Health Month. The Sioux City man wants caregivers to take time for themselves. And tonight's Healthbeat 4, KTIV's Claire Bradshaw shares the story of a former Alzheimer's caregiver advocating nearly 2 years after his wife died.
I never dreamt in my wildest dream that she would come down with Alzheimer's.
David Chobar's story of caring for someone with Alzheimer's can resonate with many. When he and the love of his life, Janet, married over 50 years ago, and sickness and health was just a vow. In 2015, that vow became full-time reality when Janet got her Alzheimer's diagnosis.
She was beyond what we would call minimal, and as a result, she was not able to be involved in any medical tests or any situations where I could get her any help. So it began 5 to 7 years of just literally watching her die in front of me.
Janet died in October of 2021. David was her primary caregiver for those 7 years, bringing in hospice months early and never leaving her side.
This is really her, a bright spirit, a classy dresser.
But he started to feel the weight of caring for someone with dementia.
You know, as a caregiver, you cannot lock yourself in with, here's a startling statistic for you, 70% of the people over the age of 70, they die before their Alzheimer's loved one dies. That's how stressful caregiving is. And so it's important that the caregiver gets help.
Since Janet's passing, David has been to Washington, D.C., lobbying members of Congress to get the Center for Medicare Services to completely cover Alzheimer's drugs like Aduhelm and Leqembi, a fight still ongoing.
2,000 people every day go beyond mild to moderate, and then they're no longer available for trials or for these special medications.
Janet's disease had progressed beyond the point of treatment, but that doesn't mean others can't have extended time with their loved ones.
My wife had the most beautiful smile. She was nicknamed Mrs. Smiley. And the disease of Alzheimer's steals that. It steals it. There becomes a glaze.
A glaze David says he sees on too many faces that were once bright. In Sioux City, Claire Bradshaw, KTIV News 4.
And one thing David said he found helpful was connecting with other caregivers, and he was able to do this through the Iowa chapter of the Alzheimer's Association.
So the Alzheimer's Association helps offer and facilitate support groups, both with caregiver support and as well as those in the early stages of Alzheimer's and dementia. We also offer free community education through various means, through either staff or community volunteers who are excellent educators.
And of course, for more information on resources for caring for someone with Alzheimer's and dementia, you can visit this story right now on our website, ktiv.com.